learning how to be bored and how to be alone with your own thoughts and your own mind changed my life. It changed my life much more than any other advice I can give you. So, for today's video, I want to give you something to think about. And that is, why is boredom so important for our lives and your life and my life? And it's really simple answer to it because boredom lets you think about your life and what you should do with it. Because here's the thing, in today's modern age, it's quite hard to actually be alone with your thoughts. And it's hard because you are bombarded constantly by insane amount of stimulation daily. And that is because you have this magic box in your pocket all the time or in your hand all the time, which has so much fucking stimulation in it. Like you will you wouldn't even believe it. And that's a problem for most people nowadays. And for me, I struggle with it sometimes too. Like well, lots of times actually. And that's why I'm actually making this video because in recent days I started to implement like much more rough strategy for my day, and that is I usually try to go as go like as big part of the day as I can without any phone or computer. And like sometimes I am managing it better, sometimes worse, but it really changed how I how I live my daily life. And this is not the first time I implemented this strategy. I didn't done it many times in the past, but I always reversed back to like the mindless fucking scrolling of any social media which is your favorite one. For example, for me, I think like past month or so, I've been really struggling with actually like with waking up and grabbing my phone and fucking watching YouTube. And when I did that, I usually just end up watching YouTube for the whole day or the most of the day. And that's not really great approach to your daily life. And there is a reason for it. If you know something about dopamine and like how outside stimulus affects dopamine levels in your body, you know that if you really if you watch any social media, your levels of dopamine elevates, and that's not really thing you want, because body has its like process which by which it wants to keep everything in balance. So if you elevate your dopamine levels to much higher levels than your baseline, your body will like force it back some time later. It may take like longer time when you are scrolling fucking TikTok or Instagram for hours, but it will get to you and you will feel like shit afterwards. And one like nasty thing about this whole process is that dopamine mm, changes or influences your perception of time. And like that that one fact alone is really bad about all of this, because it it causes you to fucking no no that's not what I wanted to say. It causes you for you to lose majority of your day and you don't even notice it, because time flows so fast for you that like you are scrolling for a few hours and you don't even notice it. It's like a few hours, and all of a sudden it's like fucking 2 hours or 3 hours later, and you are telling yourself, "What the fuck? How this happened?" And that's exactly how does that happen. So, like one of the advice from this video you should take is be aware of of how you stimulate yourself throughout your day. And really, one important thing about boredom is that it combats this whole thing and it gets your dopamine levels to normal. That's one big reason you should embrace boredom much more in your day. And second reason is because your brain cannot really create anything as long as it is consuming something stimulating. As long as it has some stimulus, like some, I don't know, like something that makes you fulfilled artificially, for example, like social media or any kind of drugs or any kind of addiction, basically, your brain cannot really create nothing because it only consumes, and that's not really good for you. I think all people should try to be creative in their lives, because I believe that all people have potential to be creative in their lives, and that can manifest itself in various ways. It really depends from person to person, but I think like creativity is really a big part of your life, and you are killing it by constantly consuming some garbage content that you don't even need. And I sometimes, not sometimes, actually, for lots of times into trap like this. That's why I'm like in recent days trying to lower my consumption of any social media to minimum. And I basically limit it only to like texting with my girlfriend and texting with my friends, and that's it. Like for communication only, you can say. And that's how I'm trying to do it, and it worked greatly actually. I feel much better. But that's like not the whole picture. What I really like, how do you even get bored in today's age? It's really actually hard because you constantly have phone in your pocket, and you can like basically access everything on it, everything you want. And that's really like, it's really convenient tool. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that it isn't, but it's really big trap you can fall into. And I know many people, and I'm sure like many people, I think it's like one of the biggest problems in today's society. That's the reason why our attention spans are getting so low, because we are constantly consuming shorter and shorter content, and much more of it, bigger volume of it, you can say, throughout the day. And that doesn't really, that isn't really healthy for your brain, you know? Because if you elevate all the time your dopamine like this, it will crash sometime, someday, and you will feel like total fucking worthless shit. You will feel like you don't want to live, and that's like what usually forces people to take even more stimulus to make them feel better. And that's how basically addiction works, you know? But like, okay, so let's talk about maybe a little how to implement boredom in your daily life. And it's really simple. You can just not be on your phone most of the day, and just use your phone sparingly and with conscious intent. That's what I mean. Don't just mindlessly grab your phone every time you are bored or every time you have free time. You need to use these like sections of free time in your day to think about your life and to maybe get a little bit creative with your life and think about what you want to do. Because as we live our lives, we accumulate lots of stress and lots of unsolved issues. And you are not solving them by ignoring them. You need to address them. And you only can address them when you are bored. Because as long as you are stimulated by something, you don't really see the issues. Only when you get bored for a longer time, the problems reveal themselves to you. And if you cannot really stay with your own mind for a long time alone, that tells something. That maybe tells you that you need to address some of the problems in your life. And that is really important knowledge you should get. That's why you need to get bored much more in your life. And it can be really simple process as commuting to work, and instead of mm, being on your phone, just watch the people in the bus or in the train or wherever, or with whichever public transport you are commuting, just watch like your just watch the life as it happens, and that's how you get bored really easily, and you start thinking like really quickly, because your brain will use the boredom to address the problems or issues that you are facing in your life. And that's the really, I think, most important advice I can give you, because I believe strongly that person who can help you and solve your issues most is yourself. But for you to solve them, you need to address them, and you need to think about them for a long time. You need to think about why are these issues even present in your life? How did something that troubles you happen for it to not happen again? And that's really important part of like your self-improvement journey or even your life journey. Yeah. And I think that might be pretty everything I wanted to tell for this video. So yeah, just remember, try not to get try to get as little as possible stimulated as little as possible in your daily life, and try to get much more bored. And if you are looking for some stimulus, yeah, stimulus that is not as aggressive as, for example, like social media or fucking any kind of like porn is very stimulating. That's why there is big problem with porn addiction nowadays. But if you are looking for something that's not as aggressive as stimulating as those things, maybe try reading a book. Books are pretty great stimulation form, in my opinion, because they don't pull you in as strongly as, for example, like social media, like TikTok or Instagram with fucking reels. So you can exit them pretty easily, but they are really great source of information, or even it doesn't even have to be like information, it can be like fiction. They are really great way how to train your ability to focus on something for a prolonged time. That's how would I say it? And I really enjoy books, and I really enjoy them since my childhood, and it's my preferred way to get stimulated nowadays, because it's just it feels much more natural to human brain than fucking scrolling on social media. Trust me that. I don't think our brains are like I don't think our brains are made to withstand all of this fucking stimulus in daily life. So be aware of it and try to stimulate your brain as little as possible in your day, and get fucking bored. Thank you for your attention, and see you the next one.